The silent war. Why do the chosen ones face intense temptation? Have you ever felt that you've been called to a higher purpose, yet continuously stumble in a nameless battle? A battle that you never talk about with anyone? A quiet, relentless struggle that pulls you away from the path you know you're meant to follow. If you're hearing this and feeling your heart stir, I want you to know you're not alone. Nothing is happening to you by chance. That there's a truth that very few openly talk about. The chosen ones, those who carry a great calling, a noble purpose, are often the ones who are attacked most deeply in the area of intense temptation. That it's not by accident. It's not simply the weakness of human nature. It's a spiritual strategy with a primary goal, designed to break you down slowly and subtly, to derail the divine purpose that God has set for your life. And you know what? This has been happening for a very long time, even in the Bible itself. Look at King David, a man whom God called a man after his own heart. He was a worshiper, a leader, a warrior. But he also fell into temptation with Bathsheba, and from that moment, great damage followed, affecting his entire lineage. Think of Samson, gifted by God with supernatural strength to deliver his people. But his weakness with Delilah led him to lose everything, even his life. Even in modern times, countless leaders, those with powerful gifts, have fallen because of a battle they've never spoken about. Why? Why attack the chosen ones? Why not leave those who are trying to live according to their calling in peace? The answer lies in a deep spiritual truth. The enemy knows the value of a chosen soul, and he knows that if he can defeat them through intense temptation, he can slow down or even cancel the divine purpose that God has prepared for them. Ephesians 6:12 tells us, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places." The battle you're facing is not just an emotional outburst. It is a spiritual war where your soul is the battlefield, and the enemy comes for your purity, not just to shame you, but to stop you from stepping into the destiny that God has prepared for you to. What makes this battle especially fierce against the chosen ones? There are at least 5 profound and shocking reasons. And if you grasp this, you will begin to understand, and you will begin to fight differently. Spiritual sensitivity becomes a dangerous advantage. The chosen ones often have a zealous heart, spiritual sensitivity, and a greater ability to perceive the spiritual world than the average person. But this is not only an advantage, it's also a danger. When you open your heart to hear God's voice, you inadvertently become a clearer target in the spiritual realm. Temptation no longer comes as an ordinary temptation. It comes as a subtle rationalization, a deserved reward, a much-needed comfort. The enemy doesn't come with horrifying images. He comes with the things you find most acceptable. The more refined the temptation, the easier it is for the chosen one to fall, unless they remain alert. Isolation leads to the last hiding places. Those whom God calls are often set apart, to learn, to grow, to be trained in the spiritual wilderness. But the path is not always understood by others, and so they often walk in spiritual isolation. That no one truly understands their inner world. No one inquires deeply. No one steps into the real world within them. And in that isolation, temptation becomes a hiding place, a place to rest, to temporarily forget the burdens. No one knows. No one finds out. No one says anything. And because no one sees, no one helps. That battle becomes a silent war, but one that aborts from within. The higher the calling, the fiercer the battle. Don't think that just because you're called, the path will be easy. On the contrary, the very greatness of your calling means the enemy will try harder to stop you. He knows that if you step into your true position, hundreds, thousands, or even millions of souls can be impacted. He knows that if you live as God has called you, you will become successful, and the light will shine in the darkness. And so, he uses temptation, one of his most powerful weapons, to hold you back. He doesn't need to kill you. He just needs you to tie yourself up with guilt, shame, and condemnation. Emotional signs as gateways for temptation to enter. Many of the chosen ones carry wounds from the past: rejection, abandonment, being used, being forgotten. And when those wounds are not healed, they open up invisible doors for temptation to enter. When you feel lonely, temptation comes as a temporary embrace. When you're hurt, it becomes a form of self-comfort that is out of order. You may not recognize it. You're trying to fill an emotional wound that hasn't been healed yet. And if you don't realize this, you'll continue to be trapped in this cycle. Strong spiritual gifts, but the flesh is weak. Without discipline, don't confuse gifting with maturity. You may be anointed mightily, used by God in powerful ways, but if you lack personal spiritual discipline, you will still fall. Prayer, fasting, reading the Word, keeping your heart pure are not options. They are the weapons in this battle. The more you are used by God, the more you need to be filled spiritually. Otherwise, you will be depleted, and your flesh will rise up. So, what should you do when you're in this battle? When you've fallen? When you feel unworthy? The answer is, please stand up and return to the presence of God, because falling is not the end. God didn't choose you because you're perfect. He chose you to transform you into His representative. God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out. 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13. Start fresh with these 3 things: spiritual discipline every day, prayer, fasting, reading the Word of God. Connect with a spiritual mentor. Don't go it alone. Face the wounds in your heart. Let God heal them at the root. You cannot fight alone. You will not succeed. You are simply on the road to success. Remember, temptation is not where you end. It's where you begin a fight to overcome with God, because you are chosen, you are called, and you will be restored. If you find yourself in these words, share them. Perhaps someone is weary, fighting in silence, and will find the light and begin the next step into the sacred destiny that God has defined.